Hello folks, I'm currently just fired up my telescopes and I zoomed to, zoomed, I flew to Jupiter and kind of working on the focus, and I thought, well, I'll go live. And this is the first time this year that I've been doing any planetary imaging, and almost the first time this summer I've done anything at night because of the clouds that hang around every day and every evening and the threat of a thunderstorm. But at any rate, let's go check out Jupiter. Okay, folks, here she is in all her grandeur. Let's move up a little closer and I don't think the great red spot, yeah, maybe it's right down here. Trying to check out the orientation of this, but at any rate, we have Jupiter, and I'll take you to the planetarium. Take you over here. Let's go to today, now, and use current time. Yep, I want to go there. Let's see. South. Okay. Saturn is right here, and it's moving across the ecliptic, this yellow line, and it will, I think it ends up transiting the meridian around midnight, which is about an hour from now, and then Jupiter is just coming in up over the horizon where I could slew to it. I don't know where I'm getting zoom from, but at any rate, that's this is what we're taking a peek at. I don't know that I'll do any imaging because the scene's kind of bad tonight. Also, I just came in from hooking up the gear, and there are some thin layers of clouds that are out and about. So no sooner than I rack off 10,000 frame AVI file, and I'll get mucked up with the clouds. So they run today as well. Anyway, here we are, and it's looking pretty good. My Wi-Fi signal is actually mediocre right now from outside. I'm inside, and I'm controlling the mount and the whole setup outside using laptops that are set up connected to the gear outside, and then I'm using Wi-Fi to access it from inside. So, and I'm a good ways away. I'm probably as far away from the backyard as there is a place in my home. But here she be. Were I going to image this, I would probably let's see, I'd probably take a maybe 10,000 frame AVI file and take about 15 of those, and then I'd have to use WinJPost to derotate them because Jupiter rotates pretty quickly. Let's go see what Saturn looks like. Let me go over to my guiding software and put the brakes on that, and then let's bring up our planetarium, and let's go over here and select Saturn, and let's slew to it, and you'll see the telescope doing just that. Hopefully my go-tos, they're pretty good telescopes. Hopefully we'll be on it. So let's we're going to need to move it. Let's try moving it wrong way. Let's move it towards the crosshairs here. That's it. I'm recentering it with a wider field. Let's see where it is. Let's take off the zoom. And it's down here. We need to add some more light to it. There it is. And let's bring it up. I don't remember what is up. That is it. That is. All right. Pretty good looking little pretty good looking planet out there, you might say. Let me add. All right. Let's go to about 2 seconds. And okay, let's head back out to check it out. Might have to work on focus. Let's get a little closer. And maybe even a little closer. Let's back off of the exposure a little bit, or the gain, one or the other. Oh, the gain's way up there. Let's come down. Let's raise our exposure up. There we go. And we can see if we can improve. Let's go in 5 steps. Trying to see if I can define some of the banding that goes across the planet. Well, there she is, folks. Let me sync this, bring up Saturn, and let's sync. So we can come right back to it. We're actually syncing the mount, so that we'll be able to come right back to it. Anyway, I'm not sure if I even have a hard drive set up out there. Let me check and see what I do have. Yeah, I have the planetary. Let's make a new folder, and let's call this 8. 29, 22, 22, and this is going to be Saturn, and Jupiter. So that will be applied. And let's see, we want to, what do we want to do? Let's take, we're going to have to raise the gain. We're going to have to do faster than 9 frames a second. So, as much as I hate to do this, let's raise the gain. And drop the exposure. Let's come down to okay, that's what we're going to do. Now let's go to capture, and let's start capture, and we're going to give this Saturn, and we're going to take 10,000 frames. Let's just make it 5,000. And that's all we're going to do right now. So we're clicking along at 22 frames a second. And I'll take a few Saturn tonight, and I'll take a few Jupiter. And when seeing is better, whenever the planet is bouncing around like that, it's a pretty good sign that your seeing conditions are kind of rugged. I'm using a Smith Cassegrain 8-inch, and I have a Teleview PowerMate 2.5 bar. It's a PowerMate. It's equivalent to a Barlow. So my Smith Cassegrain is at about 2,200 millimeters. Multiply that times 2.5, and I'll do that right now. 2200 times 2.5. I'm about 5,500 millimeters and change, which is pretty good reach. But in order to do really good planetary imaging, you need an 11-inch, not an 8-inch at a minimum, and a 14-inch is perfect. Put a 2x Barlow on that, and you can really resolve some detail. We're about halfway there. I hate Windows. All those advertising type things pop up all the time. I'm a Mac user, but I'm forced to use Windows because the software is written for Windows users, for Windows operating systems. It is. So we're racking off some Saturn. This is live, Spartanburg, South Carolina. You're on the Night Sky Imaging YouTube channel. You are. Saturn. I can't pronounce your name, Karamutsi. I can't pronounce your name, but welcome from Uganda. Glad you're on board. For the record, Saturn from Uganda looks exactly like Saturn from Spartanburg, South Carolina, except I'll bet you've got darker skies, less pollution, and a lot better seeing than we have here. We mess up our skies with lights. Okay, we did get our 5,000 in. Let's take another 5,000, and I may take 5 or 6 of those and put an image together. We'll give Jupiter some time to get up in the sky. If you're joining us, we're taking some AVI files, imaging Saturn. I have zoomed up to 200% so we can get a closer look. This is probably, of all the planets, everyone's favorite, and it's the rings. I guess that's what does it. You gotta admit, though, it is just crazy science that I'm sitting in my bonus room up over the garage with all my telescope equipment and technology that allows me to connect to telescopes at my observatory in the backyard. And I'm able to catch this live and in person. We're at 3,300 frames right now and counting. The planet looks like it's going in and out of focus, and that's just light dispersion. The ecliptic is really low in the horizon, and that's the path that the planets take. And I'm not sure how high Jupiter is, but it's very, very low on the horizon. And anytime you're looking at any target that's low in the horizon, you have all the heat off the ground, thermal heat, and it's bouncing up and from the sun's work during the day, and it just creates a lot of this wavy bouncing around stuff. Okay, let's take another, and we'll get about we'll take 2 or 3 more, then I'll head over to Jupiter and I'll take you over there in a planetarium sort of way. Here's Saturn, and let's click on Saturn, and let's get some information on this planet. And right now it's 37 degrees altitude, so it's very low. This yellow line is the path the planets take. Here's Neptune, and here's Jupiter. Here's Uranus. It's just now. Here's Mars down here. They're getting ready to rise. But we'll head over to Jupiter, and let's click on it here. All right, and Jupiter is right now. Where are you, Jupiter? It transits at 3:30. Altitude is 27 degrees. It's in a pretty good place to start imaging. So we'll go over there in a second. There'll be more in a second, but we are right now at 2,300 frames. We're taking 5,000. Okay, we're getting close to 5,000. We are live streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. We're simulcasting this, which means I'm streaming to more than one platform. And we're finished. Let's knock off another one. And don't want to do that. Let's go to are our videos. Let's see, we've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 AVI frames video, and we are currently about 1,500 frames into the 5th one. It is about 20 minutes into midnight in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Scene's gotten a little better. I say that, and then, yeah, scene's gotten a little better. I'm using a ZW 224 color camera. I have a dispersion filter that I should have put on. I'm going to have to attach the dispersion filter. It allows you to correct for some of the dispersion issues that happen when you're imaging low on the horizon. But the Barlow is well, the PowerMate by Teleview, the 2.5 times magnification, and I'm at over 2,000 millimeters, so we're close to 5,000 and change millimeters, which is a lot of focal length. We're approaching 4,000 frames. I'm looking down here in the corner. I think that's viewable in the, it might not be viewable in the streaming software. Sometimes cuts off my corners. And I think it does. I don't even know if you can see my settings over here. All right, we finished another 5, so let's stop the guiding, clear that out, and let's bring up Cortez the seal, and I can't pronounce it. It's Cortez du Seal. French is a tough language to learn. Okay, let's go to Jupiter, and let's just slew on over there. We're leaving Saturn for Jupiter, and we should be close. I hate that. And here's the view of Jupiter and its moons. Let's see if we can't move it. Wrong way. It's not exactly centered in my guide scope. It's just to the right of the bullseye. That's why I'm moving it over here. That ought to get it pretty close. So let's bring up Sharp Cap, and yeah, there's one of the moons. We can bring back the bring up the gain some. And let's move it down. Wrong way. Tell you the probably best thing to do is just take this back to automatic. And now let's center it. Bring up my hand controller. And let's also reset this. Okay, now the hand controller. And nope, west. Wrong way. That's good enough for government work right there. Let's bring up PhD 2 and let's start guiding. And we're off. This is our guiding graph. It's hard to guide low on the horizon. Just do the best you can. Okay, now let's, you can't see it, but I'm going to bring up my focuser, and I'm going to be zooming up a little bit, see if I can't focus just a little better. Okay, now we want to change the name to Jupiter, and let's capture 5,000 frames of Jupiter, and we're off. If you're just joining, we are live streaming Jupiter, and we're also taking some AVI movie files. Each file will have 5,000 frames. I'll keep about 150 of them, 15%, 20% maybe, 10%, and see if I can't get a decent picture. process this in AutoStacker, RegiStacks, and WinJupos. Because of the rapid rate at which Jupiter rotates, when you take 5,000 frames, or you take 5 images and you do that within a say a 10-minute, 15-minute period, Jupiter's already rotated and all the features would be moving, so it'd be a big blur. So you have to derotate the image so that you can stack the software, and the software program called WinJupos does that. I've got a couple videos that I've done on how to use it. A member of our astronomy club, Roper Mountain Astronomers, Josh Palmer, got me started doing planetary imaging. We've lost our signal with our outside laptop. I'll just shut it down and try to reconnect. Again. There we go. We finished that. And let's take another. I'm kind of surprised the cloud. There are quite a few clouds in the sky, and I'm surprised some of them haven't moved into my field of view. Thankful for it. If you're just joining, we are on a live stream of 2 planets, Jupiter and Saturn. Hello, Susan. Glad to have you on board. We are live streaming the planet Jupiter. We just left Saturn, and we're taking some video files that I'll stack into a one single image of Jupiter, probably sometime tomorrow morning. I'll spend tonight just trying to gather enough data to make a picture. And these are 5,000 frame video files, and right now we're at 2,500 frames. We got 2,500 more to go. And let me see, we took 1, 2, 3, we took 4 Saturn, and so far we have 2 5,000 frames of, we click on one of these, that's what it looks like in grayscale. That's a video file. It's all those checkers are little barometrics grids. So we're at 4,000, and we'll take one more. And let's take it right now, and we'll another series. We'll do two more. We'll do this one and another one, and I'll have 4 each for both planets, and then we'll move the telescope over to Saturn and take a look at it and probably say goodnight. We are live streaming Jupiter, and we'll be moving to Saturn as soon as we finish this image and take one more. We are imaging right now. We're taking a movie of the planet. It'll be a 5,000 frame movie. Each movie is made up of individual frames, and these movies will have 5,000. And when I start processing, I'll use software to tell me how many of my frames are good. I'll delete the rest and just keep the good. And I'll stack them into an image. I'll end up with 4 or 5 Jupiters pictures, and then I'll stack those into an image to get even more detail. We are looking at, I'll bring up the telescope that's doing all the imaging. I usually image with 2 telescopes at a time, and yeah, our Wi-Fi signal is not real good because I'm trying to log on to my surveillance camera outside. There we go. This is the telescope right here. The other 2 are covered, but this is the telescope right here that's currently on Jupiter, taking pics. And let's go back out. We're about to finish this 5,000, and then we'll take one more and head over to Saturn. It's going on midnight in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I was thinking this is about ready to, let's see here. I was thinking it was going to transit around. No, sure we're on the right time. Yeah, Saturn will cross over the meridian, the southern meridian, and we'll find out when it transits at 12:30. So at 12:30 it will cross over the meridian. And why that's important to me is that the mount will flip, and it does it automatically, but I'm going to stop long before that. I'm not going to image past the next few minutes. I want to go over and see Saturn again and take probably another 1 or 2 5,000 frame images of it, and then that'll be the end of it for me today or tonight. I'm going to wait till some better seeing nights before I really start stacking up data. But let's go back out here and make sure we're on our last AVI file. We're halfway. We're over halfway. I'll show you what happens when we have a transit or when we have a meridian flip. We'll go back outside. We're on Jupiter right now, but if we were on Saturn, these weights would be way up here and the telescope would be way down. And when you cross the meridian, the weights start getting higher than the telescope, and the telescope can run into your pier or run into your, in my case, this laptop sitting out here that's covered up. But you flip the mount, and what you do is the weights end up over here and the mount ends up over here, and instead of the weights being higher than the telescope is now higher, and it will remain so throughout the rest of the night. And it's called a meridian flip. Automatically, my telescopes are set up to automatically do a flip. I don't have to fool with it, but a lot of people want to do it manually because a lot of things can go wrong. Cables can get snug, hung up, and pulled out of the electronics, causing damage. So it's kind of a scary proposition when you first start doing this, but as long as you have your cables secured and in a position where there's plenty of flexibility, in the event there's a snag, you're okay. So we're going to head back to Jupiter, and we're done. Let's zoom out, and let's stop PhD from guiding. We don't need to guide now because we can go ahead and put the mount to sleep. We don't need it, but let's go over here, and this is my mount is connected to this planetarium software, and we're going to click on Saturn, and we're going to slew there. So here goes. Well, I will show you something. I'll show you, we'll go out and see if we can connect. I just put it to sleep. Here you go. Okay, now we're on Saturn, and you see how high the weights are, and eventually they'll get way above the telescopes is moving down, and because we've hit the meridian, and it's going to start going towards the horizon, as will the telescope. So we're just going to flip it so the weights are on this side, telescope's on this side, and as it goes down, the mount goes down with it. Pretty cool. Okay, we can close that out, and let's go back. Let's see, start looping, and I know just from experience I'm going to need to move no. bet we're close. Let's go see. We got to raise the exposure on Saturn. It's not as bright as look there. There she blows. And we want to get a little closer look. And so let's go ahead and do a little guiding. Just helps keep everything locked in. And this is probably by far the most popular planet. Hey Corey, thanks for watching. We have Kara Mussel, Susan, and Corey watching on Facebook. I don't know if you were with us, Corey, but we just left Jupiter and we were taking some pictures of Jupiter. We're going to take we're going to change the name to Saturn, and we're going to take another 5,000, and we're off and running. We are live streaming Saturn from Spartanburg, South Carolina, from my backyard observatory. I am using an 8-inch Smith Cassegrain. Unlike a refractor, it does not have a lens. It uses mirrors, and it's nothing more than a light bucket. It traps and captures photons. They are striking my camera sensor, and that's how we make a picture. You can see the rings around Saturn and the banding. When the scene is really good, you can really see the banding across the planet and the banding in the rings. Scene is a condition. When it's good, there's very little atmospheric dispersion or turbulence, but Saturn and Jupiter both are very low on the horizon. You're much better off imaging when you can shoot towards the zenith. But these two planets, in fact, all of the planets are going to be in at most 35, 36, 37 degrees altitude, which is very low. And so what you have is the heat from the Earth's surface. It's a day's worth of sun, and it reflected off, and it just creates an erratic atmosphere, and we're imaging through that atmosphere. And so it looks as though it's bouncing around. I don't know if you've ever been on a road walking on a hot day and you kind of look down on the pavement. As you look down the highway, you'll see that it's kind of wavy. You can see the thermal activity. Well, that's exactly what's going on between my camera sensor through the Smith Cassegrain to planet Saturn. In bad scene conditions, and there's no other way to frame it. It's bad scene. It's hard to resolve detail. All right, we did take that. Let's do one more, and then we're going to call it a night. So we're knocking off another 5,000 frames. Karamutsi. What time is it in Uganda? We are currently imaging Saturn. We have recorded 2,000 frames, and we're going for 5,000. It will be my last image of the night. I've got to be at a golf course tomorrow at 9 o'clock to take pictures of a golf tournament. Besides my love for astrophotography, mostly deep space photography, I enjoy planetary, but I love deep space photography. I'm also a sports photographer. And although 9 o'clock isn't early, I got to get up earlier, get gear together, and be out there around 8:30 to get some of the players practicing their drives and their putts. I enjoy photographing golf too. I ride around on a golf cart from foursome to foursome, and I said I wasn't going to take any more, but I am going to take one more Saturn. We're about to finish this one, and then I am done. Well done. Do, 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 do. Okay, this will be the last one. We'll check the temperature outside. 25 Celsius. See the dew point. It's already starting to gather water out there. The dew point, when it intersects the temperature, it's just like raining. Dews all over everywhere. I have dew heaters that are on the telescopes that warm up the telescopes and keeps dew from forming on the glass. It's crazy. So here's the dew heater. It's on. The guide scope dew heater though hasn't come on yet, but the main scope dew heater is on and running. All right. Temperature 78 degrees at the mount and the dew point 77. That's just water. It's tough stuff. All right, we are at 4,300 frames. We're going to shut this thing down at 5,000 and I'm going to say goodnight to everybody in a few minutes. Park the telescope, cover it up in case it rains, which is always a possibility here. I hope everybody has a great rest of the night. Make sure you say something nice to somebody tomorrow. You're going to feel better for it, and you're going to make their day. That's how it usually works.